The EU just dropped the mic on Trump. Retaliation is coming if you keep playing Tariff King. And no, this isn't some bluff. It's the biggest EU versus US trade drama we've seen in years. This isn't just politics. This is your groceries, your tech, your job, maybe all on the line. So what's really going on? Is this a trade war in the making? Or just two superpowers puffing their chests before backing down? Let's break it all down Gen Z style.
Today I would like to focus on the threats to global prosperity and stability, thus our competitiveness, and the rise of protectionism. And as our domestic agenda cannot be seen separately from global developments around us, let me start with the US tariffs. When the dream of a united Europe began, it started with a very simple idea. Let's create one single market. Let's break barriers, take tariffs down. That is what made us strong.
Before you scroll away thinking, trade stuff again, hold up. The EU, the biggest single market on Earth, just warned America. Slap tariffs, and we're slapping back hard. We're talking taxes on motorcycles, microchips, your FAV gadgets. Europe's got receipts and rage. And American CEOs, they're sweating harder than a soda can in July. Crowd chuckle plus sweat FX, this ain't some moody press conference. Ursula von der Leyen, Europe's top voice, said, "We didn't start this, but we will end it if we have to."
Let me be clear. Europe did not start this confrontation. We think it is wrong. But my message to you today is that we have everything we need to protect our people and our prosperity. We have the largest single market in the world. We have the strength to negotiate. We have the power to push back. And the people of Europe should know that together we will always promote and defend our interests and our values, and together we will always stand up for our Europe. So far, the US administration has announced a 25% increase of tariffs on imports of steel and aluminium, cars and car parts. The next sectors facing tariffs will be semiconductors, pharmaceuticals and timber. And tomorrow we expect another announcement with so-called reciprocal tariffs that will immediately apply to almost all goods and many countries in the world.
Ursula's speech, straight fire. We built a single market to unite, not to be taxed into chaos. Flame whoosh, and then she dropped the line. We hold the cards. We can push back. We're friends. But don't think we won't fight back. What's at stake? Jobs, prices, partnerships. If Trump unleashes his Liberation Day tariffs, the EU might fire back instantly. Imagine your whiskey in Paris jumping 30%, or your new phone in Dallas getting slapped with a random tax. Ouch.
But analysts warn his so-called Liberation Day could amount to a major trade war escalation, and it's putting investors, global businesses and consumers on edge. Well, CNN's Matt Egan is here to discuss this with us from New York. Matt, I know you've written an opinion piece today about Trump's tariffs for CNN Digital, and in it you explain that the crucial details of the tariff announcements remain unclear, as we all know, and even confusing is what the Trump's team's strategy is here.
Yeah, Christina, a lot of confusion here. The president seems to be trying to rewrite the global trading rules.
This is no longer just politics. It's economics, it's emotion, it's identity, and both sides are digging in. So, how did we even get here? Trump's team claims tariffs level the playing field, especially against countries that play dirty, think IP theft, closed markets, and sketchy subsidies. But here's the twist. They're slapping these tariffs on allies too. Yeah, Europe's like, excuse me, we're the ones who helped you write the rules. Tariffs are just taxes by another name. So that aluminum can your beer comes in. That's about to get pricier. Local brewers, not thrilled. And in Europe, your favorite American brands? More expensive equals less demand equals possible job cuts back in the US to Ursula. This isn't just strategy, it's betrayal. She's out here reminding everyone, Europe's got 450 million people and plenty of leverage, and they're not afraid to use it. And that aluminum, it's just the start. Pharma, timber, cars, any sector seen as iconic or vulnerable could be next. Europe knows how to weaponize trade without firing a single shot. It's quiet power with loud consequences.
The day then has finally arrived, and yet the Trump administration has still not landed exactly on their plan as the clock ticks down.
Tom, we all know what it's called. We just don't know what's in it, right? Liberation Day has been something that's been sort of looming on the surface. It's been looming there on the horizon for a great many sort of weeks and months. And for sort of business, for, policymakers here in Europe, for the markets, it's all, extremely ominous because it will contain something big. They just don't know what it is. And it seems that the Trump administration itself, at least as of a couple hours ago, is still deliberating about what these reciprocal tariffs actually look like. Is this just a sort of universal tariff, one block tariff that goes across sort of all the regions across the world?
Now, here's the twist. Europe's not just reacting. They're planning a full chess match. First, negotiate. But from strength, if things fall apart, they'll target goods like bourbon, jeans. Tech, stuff that hurts politically back. Home, second, diversify trade. They're cutting deals with India, South Africa, Mexico. Basically, if America ghosts us, we're dating around. Third, double down on the single market. By tending unity across 27 countries, Europe turns into a massive economic machine, and that's serious power at the table.
Trade goes to where the business case is. We will open doors towards fast-growing markets across the world. Europe already has trade agreements in place with 76 countries. And we are now growing this network. We just concluded trade deals with Mercosur, Mexico and Switzerland. We launched the first ever clean trade and investment partnership with South Africa. We aim to conclude a trade agreement with India by the end of this year.
Long story short, they're not bluffing. They're locked, loaded, and calculated. Asterisk if you're thinking, so what? It's just global drama. Think again. Tariffs mean real-life price hikes on everything from your laptop to your latte. CEO don't know how to budget. Farmers don't know if their exports are safe. Families wonder why cereal suddenly costs more. Imagine walking into your usual grocery store and seeing your $2 coffee jump to $3.50 because someone in DC and Brussels had a spat over steel. Wild, right?
I tell you, our costs have gone up on our cans. There's nothing I can do about it.
Could soon cost you more to crack open a cold one. You just heard from those craft brewers in Asheville, North Carolina. That's because President Trump's sweeping tariffs are expected to go into effect tomorrow.
Asterisk and geopolitically, terrible timing. There's war in Ukraine, global inflation. And now we're slapping friends with economic penalties. That's like starting a roommate fight before rent's due.
Economists are split. Some say Europe will just hurt itself by retaliating, but others? They say that's short-sighted. The EU knows how to hit where it hurts politically. Swing state exports.
But yeah, tomorrow is shaping up to really be the biggest day yet for President Trump when it comes to tariffs. We're expecting a range of announcements. The biggest one is on these Liberation Day tariffs, what have been known as the reciprocal tariffs. Also expanded tariffs, perhaps, on Canada and Mexico, because some of the exemptions that were put in place a month ago are scheduled to expire. There's also potentially tariffs on any country that buys oil from Venezuela.
Trump's camp says, we're fighting for American jobs. But history says broad tariffs usually counters inflation, less growth, and chaos for small businesses. Trade between the U.S. and EU is worth over $1 trillion annually. If both sides go full scorched earth, It's not just about Europe or America. It'll send shockwaves across Canada, Asia, even your favorite supply chain on Amazon.
Here's where it gets juicy. Europe hasn't slammed the door yet. But if Trump launches 20 to 25% tariffs across the board, expect Europe to clap back fast. We're talking a tit-for-tat spiral. And when that happens, everyday people lose higher prices, delayed shipments, layoffs. Meanwhile, politicians pose like they stood tough. Ursula said it loud and clear. We will always stand up for our Europe. This isn't posturing. This is poker with nukes, and even. If they strike a deal, the trust damage might take years to repair. Allies don't forget being treated like enemies. So, are we headed for a handshake or a head-on crash? The EU just told Trump, push us, and we push back. Will this be the end of US-EU trade bromance? Or just another bluff before cooler heads prevail? Drop your thoughts, team. Negotiate or nah. Team tariff everything, baby. Team wait, what's a tariff again? You're watching Trending Buzz, where we turn global chaos into clarity. Hit subscribe and stay tuned. Because tomorrow, that retaliation might be headline news.